Hello everyone. In the previous classes, you have already learned how to solve quadratic equations using factorization method and formula. But we have not seen the use of quadratic equations in our daily life. In this exercise 5.5 of Emil Agarwal of class 10 ICSE, we shall see questions or word problems based on real life situations. Now these problems are categorized into 5 parts. Discussing all those 5 parts in one video will make it longer, and that made me split this into different videos. Now in this video we are going to discuss problems based on numbers and fractions. This is the first question we have. Now you must see the question properly. Find two consecutive integers. Okay, so we have to take two consecutive integers, right, such that the sum of these squares is 61. So what are the two consecutive integers? Let the two consecutive integers be, okay, so if I say the first integer is x, the next one it should be x plus 1. Now there may be different types of questions like two consecutive natural numbers. You will choose the same thing. Two consecutive even natural numbers. Now when you have even natural numbers, then consecutive even numbers are at a gap of one number. So if the first number is x, then the next number would be x plus 2, and that same applies for consecutive odd natural numbers too. Now let us proceed with the given conditions such that the sum of these squares is 61. So I have to take the sum of what? Squares of those two numbers. So x square plus x plus 1 whole square. Now you need to understand the language of the question. Okay, you have to add the squares of those two numbers and you would get 61. Okay, now you have to just solve it. If you open the brackets, x square, this is a plus b whole square, 2x plus 1 equals to 61. Now once you have formed this quadratic equation, you have 2x square, then plus 2x, and 61 comes to this side, you have minus 61. So 1 minus 61 is minus 60. Now this is the main part. You have already formed the quadratic equation. You can reduce it dividing the whole thing by 2. You get x square plus x minus 30 equals to 0. Now this is our quadratic equation. This 2 when taken to the right side, 0 by 2 is 0. So we have x square plus x minus 30 equals to 0. In any question, when you are trying to put the words into an expression like this, then you reduce it to the quadratic equation and then just you simplify it and find the solution for the question. Okay, here's the solution for that quadratic equation. You have x square plus x minus 30. Now splitting the middle term, you have the factors of 1 into minus 30. That's 6 into minus 5 is minus 30, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So after splitting, you can always use your own preferable method. You can go for factorization method or you can go for the formula. Now you will get two numbers, minus 6 and 5. Okay, so let us go back to the question. You need to show your solved portion here. Then we get x equals to minus 6 or x equals to 5. Okay, So these are the two integers. Now we need the consecutive two integers, right? So that the sum, so sum of their squares. So if I take the consecutive integers are, if I take -6 and -5, or 5 and 6. If you see, -6 square is 36, -5 square is 25, so you add it and you get 61. You add the squares of these two also, you get 61. Your answer depends on the condition, nature of condition of the question. So if they are asking you to find integers, then you have to choose both. If they are asking you to find consecutive natural numbers, then you are going to write only this part, 5 and 6, and not -6 and -5. Now in this question they are asking you to write two consecutive even integers. Okay, if their product, the condition is the product is 2 to 4. Okay, so again you might have a different condition, positive consecutive even integers, but in this one they are asking you only even integers. Okay, so if our first even integer is 2, then the next one is 4. Okay, so you see there is a gap of 1. Obviously if I take the first integer as x, then the next one has to be x plus 2. Okay, so write that let the two consecutive even integers be x and x plus 2. Okay, so in the previous one, because they were consecutive integers, we took x and x plus 1, but here we have consecutive even integers. Even for odd integers consecutive, we are going to choose this. Okay, so let the two consecutive even integers be x and x plus 2. Now we are going to use the condition. What is the condition? The product of these two consecutive integers, that means x into x plus 2 equals to 224. Now the important part of a question is to write the given condition in an expression format. Okay, now this is the expression we have got. Once we have got the expression, we can reduce it to quadratic equation. So you can just simply multiply, you get x square plus 2x, and taking 224 to the left side, we get -224 equals to 0. Now this is our quadratic equation. You just need to solve it. This is how we solve it. We split the middle term. Since we have the last term or the constant term is negative, so one number, the factors, has to be a negative. One number out of the factors has to be a negative. So we find that 16 into -14 is -224, and 16 minus 14 is 2. Okay, so splitting it, we get x equals to -16 or x equals to 14. So after solving, we get x equals to -16 or x equals to 14. Now what we need? We need two consecutive even integers. So again, this is also even and this is also even. So integers, both are also integers. They didn't say whether it is a positive integer or a negative integer, so we have to choose both. So in that case, the two consecutive even integers are, so if I choose the first one, -16, then I have to write it -14. So these are the two consecutive even integers. If I add 2 to -16, I get -14. Or I have the second option also, 14 and 16. Okay, so we have two sets of answers here. If I take minus 16 and minus 14, if we multiply, we get 224, and if we multiply 14 and 16, we get 224. So both these sets satisfy the given expression. So both are your answers for the given condition. If you read this question, it says certain whole number, okay, is equal to 5 times a certain whole number is equal to 3 less than twice the square of the number. Okay, so I have to find the number. So let us assume that the certain whole number be x. Let the whole number be x. Okay, so according to the given condition, we have, according to the problem, we have 5 times the whole number, that means 5x is equal to 3 less than twice the square of the number. So it is 3 less, so minus 3, from which number it's getting deducted twice the square of the number, so 2 times the square of the number. So this is twice the square of the number, and 3 less than that, that is equal to 5x. Now this is the main part. You have already formed the expression. Now just write it in the normal or standard form of the quadratic equation. Writing it, we get 2x square, 5x goes to that side, minus 5x and minus 3. On the left side you have 0, so that's 0. Now we have formed the quadratic equation. The next part is to solve it. This is how you solve it, and you get x equals to minus half and x equals to 3. Okay, so after solving it, we get x equals to minus half or x equals to 3. Now the condition says it's a certain whole number, so minus half is not a whole number, so our answer is 3. So this is the whole number we are looking for. Okay, so the number is, the required number or whole number is 3. In this question we have two conditions. The first one says difference of squares of two numbers is 45, and there is another relation given: square of the smaller number is equal to 4 times the larger number. Okay, so a smaller number depends on the larger number, so the independent one we can take it as the larger number. So let us assume that the larger number be x. Let the larger number be x. Okay, so according to the second condition, we have the square of the smaller number, that means the smaller number square is equal to 4 times the larger number, that means 4x. Okay, now as per the first condition we have is difference of the squares of the two larger numbers. So I have larger number square. Obviously the smaller number square has to be subtracted from the larger number square, so smaller number square. So the difference is 45. Now the important part is to write the given condition in an expression format. Okay, so this is according to the problem. Okay, that implies we have larger number is x square minus smaller number square is 4x. Okay, so x square minus 4x equals to 45. Now we have found the required quadratic equation. Minus 45 equals to 0. This is the solution. X square minus 4x minus 45. So after solving it, you get x equals to 9 or x equals to minus 5. Okay, we get x equals to 9 or x equals to minus 5. Now what is x? X is our larger number. Okay, so larger number is x. What is our smaller number? Smaller number square is 4x. Okay, so smaller number square is 4x. Our larger number is 9 and smaller number squared is 4x. That's 4 into 9, that's 36. Okay, so smaller number equals to plus minus root over 36, and that's plus minus 6. Now we discarded this x equals to minus 5. The reason is the difference of the squares is 45. Okay, so square, if we consider this is a larger number, and square of minus 5 is 25, so the difference cannot be 45. Even if we take another number, the square is going to always be a positive number. So after subtracting, you cannot have 45 if you choose x equals to minus 5. So we have to discard x equals to minus 5, and we have chosen 9. Now, but there are again two possibilities for the smaller number. So our combinations are the two numbers are 9 and 6 or 9 and minus 6, because the smaller number can be plus 6 or minus 6. This is question number 8, and in this question you have to find 3 successive, or it means consecutive, even natural numbers. Okay, so if we choose the numbers to be x, the next even number is x plus 2, and the next one is x plus 2, this plus 2, so x plus 4, and the previous one before this is x minus 2. It's better to choose these 3 rather than choosing these 3. Okay, so we will choose these 3 and we'll see how it makes easier. Okay, so let the 3 successive even natural numbers be x minus 2, x and x. So according to the problem, we have sum of these squares, so x minus 2 whole square plus x square plus x plus 2 whole square. So sum of the squares is 308. So you have just found the expression for the given condition. Now you can just go on solving it. If you open the bracket, you get x square minus 4x plus 4 plus x square plus x square plus 4x plus 4 equals to 308. Now you can see that minus 4x and plus 4x we can cancel. It cancels to 0. If you take x plus 4 instead of x minus 2, now you would have got some x terms here, and literally this is much easier than solving a quadratic equation like that. So you have 3x square, then you've got 4 plus 4 8. Going to the right side, we have 308 minus 8. That's 3x square equals to 300, and so this is a simpler one. X square equals to 300 divided by 3, we get 100, and that's x equals to plus minus root over 100, and that's plus minus 10. But we need consecutive even natural numbers. Okay, so minus 10 is not a natural number, so obviously we are going to discard minus 10. So here we get x equals to 10, or x equals to, discarding x equals to minus 10, we get x equals to 10. So the three consecutive natural even numbers, right? Even numbers are, so one is x minus 2, that's 8, then x we have 10, and x plus 2 we have 12. Okay, so these are the three consecutive natural numbers. If you want to verify, you can just find out whether your given expression holds true for those numbers. So suppose you have 8 square 64, then 10 square is 100, 164, and then you have 12 square 144. So 144 plus 64, 108, plus 144 plus 64 is 208, and plus 100, that's 308. So that's our right hand side, so it holds true, so your answer is correct. This question says sum of the numerator and the denominator of a certain positive fraction, remember this is a positive fraction, is 8. So if I say the numerator is x, let the, this is a solution, let the numerator be x, then the denominator equals to, because numerator plus denominator is 8, so denominator is 8 minus x. Be careful, it's not x minus 8, it's x plus the numerator plus denominator is 8, therefore denominator equals to 8 minus x. Okay, now according to the problem we have the fraction is x by 8 minus x. According to the problem, if we add 2 to both the numerator and denominator, the fraction is increased by 4 by 35. So we have x plus 2 if we add to the numerator and also to the denominator, 8 minus x. So we are adding 2 to both this, then the fraction is increased by, that means whatever the fraction was, it was this, increased by 4 by 35. Now congratulations, you have formed the expression from the given conditions. Now reduce this into standard quadratic equation. So on reducing the given expression to quadratic equation, going through all the cross multiplication process and multiplying the terms, we get the quadratic equation 4x square plus 68x minus 240. Okay, now again dividing the whole expression on both sides by 4, we get x square plus 17x minus 60. On solving the quadratic equation, you get two values of x equals to minus 20 and 3. Now the fraction is a positive fraction, so we have to discard the negative value of x and we get x as 3. So what is x? X is the numerator. So if the numerator is 3, then the denominator is 8 minus 3, that's 5. So we can verify whether our result is true or not just by applying to the given condition. So if we add 2 to both the numerator and the denominator, we get 5 by 7, right? And it is actually 4 by 35 more than the fraction we have. Okay, so if we add 4 by 35 to the given fraction, what we find is 5 by 7, which is actually fulfilling our given condition. Okay, we get x equals to minus 20 or x equals to 3. So discarding the negative value of x, because as we said, the fraction is a positive one. Numerator equals to x, that's 3. The denominator is 8 minus x, that's 8 minus 3 is 5. Therefore the required fraction is 3 by 5, and we have already seen the verification. To understand this question, we have a 2-digit positive number. Okay, so the 2-digit positive number is such that the product of its digits, okay, the product of the digits is 6, product of the digits. If 9 is added to the number, then the digits are interchanged. Okay, so the number is a reverse number now. So the digits place gets interchanged if 9 is added. Now let us first understand how we write a 2-digit number in algebraic format. In general, in decimal numbers, we write a 2-digit number. Suppose I'm taking an example, 23. So if 23 is a 2-digit number, we can write the 2 digits, that's 2 and 3 side by side. Okay, it actually means 2 into 10, 20, and 3 into 1, 3. So that's the expansion form of 23. But in algebra, we cannot write like this, x and y side by side. It means x into y and not a number xy. Okay, so it doesn't mean 2 into 3, it means 23. If we want to write 2 into 3, then we have to put a bracket like this, or we have to put a symbol in between 2 and 3. It means 2 into 3. But this is not equal to 23. But here xy is equal to x into y. So how do we write? We cannot write xy. Okay, so we have to write it in its expansion form. So it means the tens digit has to be multiplied by 10 and the units digit is to be multiplied by 1. So we don't write 1 here, 10x plus y. But if we reverse the digits or interchange the digits, we get the reversed number. This is the reversed number. Okay, so for 23 the reverse number is 32. We know what is the expansion form. Okay, so here it's 10y. Now since y is going to the 10th digit place, so it's 10y plus x. Similarly, we can expand this to further 3-digit numbers or 4-digit numbers. Like 3-digit number is 100x for the third digit place or the hundreds digits place, and this is tens digits place to be multiplied by 10, and this is units place to be multiplied by 1. So this is how we generally write in algebraic form a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number. So in this question we have the product of the digits. Let us say the units digit be x. Let the units digit be x. Okay, so the tens digit is x into y. Okay, so the tens digit into units digit is 6, so the tens digit is 6 by x, because the product is 6, so x into tens digit is 6 and tens digit is 6 by x. Now according to the condition, if we add 9 to the number, that means the number is the 2-digit number is tens digit is this, so 10 into 6 by x plus units digit is x. So if I add 9 to this, according to the problem we have, if we add 9 to this number, that's 60 by x plus 9, then the digits gets reversed, so we have the digits reversed. Tens digit goes to the units place and the units digit comes to the tens place, so we have 10x plus the units digit now is this. Okay, so this is our original number 60 by x plus x, and this is our reverse number. So if we add 9 to the original number, we get our reverse number. We have formed the expression according to the given condition. Now we have to reduce it to a quadratic equation. And this is how we reduce the given expression to a quadratic equation. And following the normal procedure, we get 6 minus x squared plus x equals to 0. Now we have rearranged, taken everything to the right side, so that we have x squared as positive, so everything, the sign changes. X squared is positive now, minus x and minus 6 equals to 0. Now you need to solve this equation. This is the solution part. You have x squared minus x minus 6 equals to 0. So finally we get x equals to 3 or x equals to minus 2. Okay, so we have x equals to 3 or x equals to minus 2. Now remember, x is the units digit and it cannot be a negative integer. Okay, so our units digit is 3, so the units digit is 3 and the tens digit is 6 by x, that's 6 by 3, and that's 2. So the required 2-digit number is 10 into 2 plus 3, that's 23. Okay, now if you want to verify, if you add 9 to this number, you get 32. So you get the reverse number if we add 9 to 23. So it fulfills our required condition. Hence the required 2-digit number is. That's all for now in this class, because we have seen different types of questions based on numbers and fractions. In the next part, we are going to see questions based on area and perimeter. See you in the next class.